Because we seldom make any posts other than our display windows, a lot of people don't realize that we have an exterior stand that's in the actual building too. And we have pretty interesting things there. We also have a selection of furniture. Now this is an off day and I'm not turning on the building lights, so it's not as vibrant as it normally would be. But we have, like I say, interesting things for interesting people, just like we do inside. And we change this too to keep from getting too boring. And we have a collection of some of the art stuff that we do. This is Trees in Winter. It's a metal piece on board. We have a nice slant top cabinet. We're also having a special on steins this week. The steins I'm showing you here are regular price, but we also have a selection inside that's going to be 20% off. And we'll ease around here, see if I can get a good view of things. As you can see, we have a lot of interesting glassware out here in our showcases. Things might not be as orderly as you see on market day, but our schedules don't allow us to just go in one day and revamp the shop to get it ready for you. So we have bits and pieces that we do during the week. And as you can see, we have a nice assortment of lamps, unusual things like a mounted skull, which we don't get too often. Here's some interesting things, mid-century modern type things. Now I'm going to get down and see if I can. It's going to be fairly dark down here, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. But if I do a close-up, and this isn't showing up too well furniture-wise, but this is our current window display. And I'm just going to slide down. This was a horse theme that we did. Probably let this up one more week. But we thought it's extremely rare to see a market stand at a farmer's market with showroom windows and then have displays changed on a frequent basis like we do. And as you can see, we have a nice variety of furniture, a slant top cabinet. My workshop's a mess right now, but this is the showroom window for my workshop where we do a lot of the framing. And during the week, it can be a disaster because I'm part way through work or sorting things for storage. We don't get many baskets, but we always have a nice display of smaller baskets out here. And like I say, the light's not very good, so it's a nice dry sink. Nice little server. This is pretty interesting. This is a Louis Philippe style cabinet with a hidden drawer that comes out. This is a typical wash stand. This is a more traditional style. And I'll go over here and show you some of the other steins. This is our door to the main building too. And I'd shown some of the things the other day. I'll come back to this because someone had asked me to go a little slower so they could see some of the art. But this is what you'll see from the entrance to our shop from the other side before I'd shown the rear entrance. And we have all types of stuff. This is a Cancer in the Twins. It's a hand-colored lithograph. And I have a couple pieces of this Richard Smoyer artwork. This is painting on board. Nice traditional folk. And then framed this. It's by R.C. Cray. It's a signed print. It's matted so you can get your own frame if you're interested in it. And it has some nice watercolor. This is the last of our metal wall cowls. They sold pretty well. There's a nice piece of folk art. These pieces, I think they were originally intended to be coasters. I was tempted to glue them in place, but that's how I got the piece, so I'm going to leave it that way because that's obviously what the artist wanted. We have a nice piece of folk art felt work. And that's not showing up too well. That's one of the Civil War pictures. We're known for the Civil War pictures, and we always have a nice selection of those. As you can see, we have glass on display. Some of it's ready to go back out. Here's some more of our steins. We have some German plates. These are all German steins here. The one I showed previously had a fish theme. That is not a German stein, but all the others are. And we usually have a pretty nice selection of those. And I'll just zip around here to show you some of the things from the back. This is a nice painting, Trail Break. This is oil on canvas board. At one time I did a series of nursery rhyme frame prints and haven't had too much demand for those. I don't know if it's changing times where the younger people aren't familiar with the traditional nursery rhymes. Here's some more of the Civil War prints, but they didn't do too well at this market, so I don't have too many of them out like I had before, but I still have a couple because occasionally somebody asks for something like that. Okay, I'm going to go a little slower on the art this time. This is an oil and canvas, and the artist is unknown on this one. We also carry some interesting Native American art. This is one of my craft pieces. It's a wall hanging, and you could take the shells out and put a bigger bouquet in, whatever you want to do. It's sort of a nice summery seashore type of thing. This is a nice watercolor. And being at a farmer's market, we will have, or try to have, farmers related things. And this is by Melba Edmonds. This is a painting of a farm scene. As I mentioned in a previous video, this is a pretty interesting piece, and they're not that common. It's a fight poster, and it's signed by Leroy Nyman, the artist. and Larry Holmes, the boxing champion. And the signatures are certified as authentic. So there are a lot of fake signatures being done these days, but we do our best to avoid anything like that. This is another wall piece. You could hang this outside your house or maybe the side of a shed in a garden area and use the base as a planter. Roosters are popular with this, as are fantasy art. And here's another case. This is Farm Life by Frank Batson. And we have some antique toys. These are mostly from the 40s and 50s. They sell pretty well. We only have a few of these left. And we don't do much in the showcase, but every once in a while we'll get some jewelry. Currently have a bunch of harmonicas or mouth organs, and for people that are interested in the Bible, they might want to be interested in this. It's a Fox's Martyr's Mirror 1834 edition. There's a 1985 edition too, and they're selling both those as one unit. I think I missed some of this stuff when I was doing my scan, so I'll go through here a little slower. Because of the lighting, things aren't showing up quite as well. And we'll casually go around. I have a lot of family type prints. Here's another painting. This is by Mike Devlin, and I might get a frame for this, or I might just sell it as is and let the person decide what they'd like on it. This is a really nice piece of carved wood. It's The Craftsman by Mark Wilson, and this was 1995. It's about, I'm going to say about 2 feet by 15 inches. Here we have some miniature steins. This is Pirate's Cove by Motor Mark's daughter. And this is a signed artist proof, number 13 of 18 copies. These are extremely rare. When I spoke to Motor Mark, he's up in Canada, he said the last one he sold for $5,000. We currently have $3,500 on this one. And we don't have too much furniture inside this building, but we have a couple pieces. There's a nice homemade corner cupboard. Now these are going to be tough because of the lighting in here. This is a nice frame matted country print, and this is a nice farm scene. And there's probably going to be some glare from the lighting, so unfortunately that's the best I can do at this point. And this is a nice serial lithograph. And this is signed. And you can see a 3D scene in the background. That's signed by Kenneth Launchman, the artist. We always have a nice selection of lamps. And you can see some of the folk art pieces we have behind there. Carnival, there's a selection of figures. They were pretty popular. Ball jars are in demand. We usually try to have carriers. This is a rare piece, the Titanic leaving Belfast. This was by Vern Henkel from Lancaster County. And it's an unusual piece because he was known for comic book and pulp magazine illustrations. He was a friend of Stan Lee of the Marvel Comics fame. And in the early 50s, they worked together. And at $450, this is a pretty good deal on this type of rarity. This is Pheasants by Charles Fisher. This is a nice frame sign print, great for somebody that's hunting. We actually have a really serious group of owl collectors. So these, you never know. I'm doing this video during the week, but if you get in a little later next week, they might be here, they might not. You never know, but we do have some serious shoppers. This is Johnny Appleseed, nice folk art frame, and that's on ink and watercolor by Judy Karras. This is a diorama, folk art diorama. The artist is unknown, but it's a three-dimensional piece. This is one I'd mentioned too. It's an artist version of the Charles Marion Russell's classic work, Meat's Not Meat Till It's in the Pan. And as you can see, that deer has been nailed, and the hunter's standing above it trying to figure out how he's going to get it. And his horses are probably thinking, man, it's cold up here, let's get out of here. We also have a lot of DeGroot lath artwork. These are all handmade pieces. And we have this, and we have some horse themes, but they're something that are still in demand. It's a mid-century modern borderline type thing. This is one of the craft pieces we have for somebody that's, looking for more of a primitive art style. There's another Stein. This is the photographer. This is a nice wood carving. Surprised that's still here. Here's another one of my fairy tale prints. I think it's time to straighten up the toys, but when you have kids rooting through, that's going to happen. And here's some table. Probably going to redo this one this week. You can see another Civil War print, another Native American print. And these are an assortment of animals. Being a farmer's market, we have a great interest in chickens and hens and horses, so we usually try to have a nice display. These are stone eggs. Most of those are from Italy. They're pretty popular for displays, and we're getting near Easter. This is a traditional style painting. And we have another piece by Schmoyer here. We also have a serious collector base for paperweights. So we usually try to have a nice display of those. We don't get much in records, but currently we have a stack of 45s and a stack of albums. They're mostly jazz. Let me move these over here. And this is probably going to be the last week. I'm probably going to put these back away. But we currently have our yearbook sale. And we have Albright College, Schuylkill Valley, Hamburg, and some of them go back to the 40s, so they're pretty collectible. And this is sort of an odd hodgepodge type table. I have a nice weight-driven wall clock. It doesn't have the weights, but the movement and everything is in great shape. We have some box lots for jewelry. Eastside Dave and the Pine Ridge Mountain Boys, that's a Reading bluegrass band. Eastside Dave still performs pretty much with a number of bands. And we have some African art. Here's a nice folk art Noah's Ark. And back here, this is another assortment. These are borderline antiques. These are what's left of our cast iron toys. This will probably be the last week for these, and we'll probably send these to auction. Nice piece of paper cut work. And I'll go over here. We'll this probably will have too much of a reflection. This is Barry F. Clark. It's the Spitfire. It is probably 4 feet long by 3 feet high. And like I say, the reflections aren't doing this justice. As I mentioned, Noah's Ark's really popular. Our crafts, this is a metal horse mounted on board. That's a nice folky thing. And we get some regular traditional type prints. They're usually signed and numbered. If not, there's something that we think is an interesting thing that would make a nice addition to your home. This is a nice folk scene for somebody that's in the country. This is Richard Howard. I'm not quite sure. It's one of his silk screen issues, but I'm not sure if it's gauche on paper or not. And I'm not sure when this was made. And this is Dad Take Me Fishing. This is a pretty large print. We have a lot of sportsmen that come to the market, so try to have something for them too. And just some general pottery and things. Here's a nice smaller piece of lath art. A mid-century modern piece. Not many people know this, but our books are right now. They've been going pretty good. They're pretty picked out as far as space-wise. I'm gonna have to put some more in. We have stuff anywhere from war, comic books, reference books, and while some are expensive, we also have some that aren't too bad at all. These are signed books. Michael Connolly's well known for Harry Bosch. This is a book on Leonard Bernstein, and it's signed by the author. It's only $5. Usually, it's difficult to get signatures. This is another one. It's by John Feinstein. He's a noted sports writer. Signed, $5. Most people are familiar with Lisa Scottoline, Betrayed. As you can see, this is a signed edition that has official seal, $5. So people think that everything we have here is expensive, but a lot of stuff's pretty cheap. Here's some more of the books. And we also occasionally get photographs. If we think they're interesting enough, we'll put them out. It's a nice wintry scene for the train collector. That's a vintage photograph there. Here's another shelf of books. We have a lot of local histories. Now, these are mostly from outside Berks County or just bordering. They'll be like some from Morgantown, some from Ephrata. But we try to have a good selection of those. This is a very special piece for Rose. This is by John Maslin. He was a Pennsylvania artist, and it's huge. It's over 4 feet wide. It's probably might be 5 feet, and it's probably 4 feet high. It's oil on masonite board, and it's the crucifixion. And this is $2,500, which seems like a lot, but in modern times, we just had something done recently by one of the local artists, and there's so few doing work for people that the prices have really increased from what you experienced in the past. Now, Rose also does a lot with vintage clothing, stylish type things. She's big in mirrors. This is an unusual frame on this one. And just some more of she has a lot of denim jackets in here right now. Here's a nice selection of scarves. Vintage mirrors are her thing. Oh, that one, I didn't crack that one, so I must still be looking pretty good. And as we go down through here, there's a nice selection of hats. Another interesting mirror. Some sparkly dresses. And traditional gown. Rose is really into glass and primitives. As I'd mentioned before, she recently picked up a nice selection of Pepsi collectibles for the soda collector. Here's a nice assortment of glasses. Glasses are actually pretty hot right now. It's tough to keep those in stock. And keep in mind, if you see anything in these pictures that is of interest to you, or if you want to buy, you can just send us a message and we can hold it for you. We currently aren't selling online. That's in the future. So we're not doing shipping or anything right now, but we try to work with our customers on these types of things. There's Little Mamas by Melvin Spots. He's a Lancaster County artist. There's a nice embroidered piece. Here's some more glass. A lot of Fenton. We still get demand for wildlife plates, so we try to have some of those. Here's some more pictures and glasses. Rose does a lot with uranium glass. We have some in this cabinet here. We have another cabinet out in the showcase, but since it's off day, I didn't put in all the lighting, so that one I didn't take. This is Ole Fields by Mildred Sands Kratz, a Pottstown artist. Her work usually goes for triple what I have it for. Here's a nice folk art painting. I'm surprised this is still here because we also do displays for the coffee shop at the front of our building, and you'll always see a lot of framed artwork there. This week the theme is flowers, so everything on the wall there that we've submitted have a floral theme. Here's another Noah's Ark. We're very family oriented, so you'll see a lot of framework that accents the family values. This is a piece of lath work by Jacob Martin. And Blessed, this is a modern mass-produced painting, but it has that old look. So someone that is looking for something on a religious end for their home, that'd be an ideal piece. You seldom see these. This is embroidery on silk. It's around 3 feet by 2 feet. This is a piece of Native American sand art. And another DeGroot lath art from the 70s. And another larger carousel, horse. This is by DeGroot too. This is a pretty large piece. Here's a nice painting of a fox. And we have some wood carvings here. And another nice piece of folk art. This is an embroidered Noah's Ark. A nice folk art frame mirror. And let me step back. Rose always has a nice selection of salt and pepper shakers. So if you collect those, there's a good chance she'll have something for you. We usually have a nice selection of Pat Buckley moss. And these are around a foot to 15 inches each. That's a foot by 2 foot. This isn't a common book. It's about the painting, The Joy of the Soul, and it's about Pat Buckley Moss, and it's signed by the author and Pat Buckley Moss. And here are a few others. I personally prefer the geese. This is a large one. This is probably 3 by 3.5. You don't see that many of the larger prints of hers. And these are all signed. And of course, she did a lot of the country theme work. I'm surprised this didn't sell at Christmas. This is so cute. It's the night before Christmas. And you have the kids in bed and they're just so anxious they can't sleep. And this is one of her more unusual pieces. This is Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. And she normally goes more towards folk stuff, so it's unusual to see one of those. This is a nice piece of Pennsylvania folk art. It's a container with a removable lid. I didn't change our entry display. A nice mid-century lamp. You actually have The Hobbit, the original soundtrack, on records, and it has a booklet and a poster. He passed away a few years ago, but Gene Burkhart was a wonderful guy, and he was well known for his pressed flower art. So here I have a frame piece of his, plus I also have the book that he wrote with step-by-step explanations on how to do this. This is a mystery chest of drawers. We currently have it open so you can see the drawers, but the drawers slide back, the end pieces slide up, and it settles down to look like a case, but there doesn't seem to be any entrance to it. And again, it's farmers market. We get a lot of duck collectors, hunters. Be a nice wall piece for somebody. The pictures are all signed and numbered. Again, here are the steins that are on sale. They're normally $40 each, but this week they'll be $20. This be a nice set of china for somebody that's looking for something for the holidays. These are some great ball jars. Rose is expert on ball jars. I don't know that much about them, but there's some serious collectors there. And here's some interesting some more glass. And here's some of the primitive type items that Rose has. Nice coverlet, some different types of gadgets. And go around the back here. Nice old style blanket chest. That's probably easy 100 years old. And some more primitive type items. Rose is big on milk cans, so we always have some nice milk cans. She also gets a lot of fabrics and linen, so this table usually gets hit pretty hard on market day. And she'll be adding more to this week. Cruise up this way. There's a nice wooden carved horse and wagon. And some different pieces of pottery and folk art. Some collectible ink blotters. Most people, the younger people, don't even know what an ink blotter is anymore. They were just starting to stop the use of fountain pens generally when I came on the scene, and I'm ancient. And here we have our local history section. This is the Berks County for the most part. And some of the passing scene. We have a bunch this week. I just got in on history of some of the local churches. Now this isn't Berks County per se, but Carol Hiley's a Berks County artist, and she's known for her children's books. And we also have some general Pennsylvania Dutch books. Muhlenberg story, another passing scene. So I thought this would give you a better idea of what we have in our shop. I think we're probably the only shop of its kind at a farmer's market, maybe in the country for all I know, because I've been to hundreds of farmers markets and I've never seen anything like this. And the fact that we are constantly changing things to keep it interesting for people is another event, because most places put things out and they're out to stay. And we even have things from the rafters. I'll just take a slow pass. You usually hang pennants and things like that up there. Obviously, somebody was a Portland Blazers fan at one time. That's a nice woven basket. Nice Phillies World Series 1983 pennant, 1997 Orioles. There's something, that was probably a giveaway from WEEU. The pennants are $10 each. That about wraps it up for the interior. I just want to show you, we open at 5 in the morning. Now, current hours are 5 to 5. I think they might be changing from 5 to 6 for the summer hours. So you only can get in our building, I'm going to say after 6, just to be on the safe side. But this is the parking lot out here, what it looks like in the morning. Up that area is the flea market. That'll, by this time of day, that place will be packed. But it's safe to come back here to go in, even though right now it seems pitch black, because when you pull in, we do have an overhead light on our door, and the other entrances beside us also are well lighted, as is Christina's down there to the right. So when we be coming to back, you just have to look for the Rose's Boutique sign. You can pull up and shine your headlights on it just to be on the safe side. And then you can just come up, and after 5, the doors open. So you can just unopen, come in, and there you are. So thanks for watching this video. I'm going to continue to work on these things to try to improve them. Hopefully this was a little bit better for people who wanted to see things a little clearer and wanted me to go a little slower. So I tried to do that to make things a little more interesting for them. It's a nice threaded piece here. It's pretty big too. This is probably 3 by 3, maybe a little larger. And one last view of our rafter section. And that's it for now. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week. Thank you.